When you first entered this world, you did so with a determined will, a tiny and fragile bundle full of infinite potential. In those earliest moments, you existed purely in the shimmering present, unclouded by any knowledge of the future or regrets of the past. You were blissfully unaware that you possessed a body, and certainly had no inkling that this miraculous vessel could ever be seen as anything other than perfect. Your newborn experiences consisted of absorbing the world around you like a sponge. Each time you opened your eyes, those wide and innocent gazes painted the world fresh with simplicity and boundless wonder. If something soft or warm brushed against your lips, it instinctively found a temporary refuge in your mouth. And anything within the reach of your small hand was met with an earnest grip fueled by sheer curiosity. In these pure and untainted moments, you were a mere human being, completely pristine and untouched by the perceptions or judgments of the outside world. Yet, as you began to tentatively explore the labyrinth that is existence, those around you subtly started to sculpt your understanding of its complex structure. From the very dawn of your perception, they were there, whispering and sharing ideas and beliefs that slowly shaped your worldview. Many of these were cloaked with half-truths and veiled misconceptions, yet they lingered, threatening to stay with you for a lifetime. Words danced and echoed in your mind, reshaping the innocence once present with notions that often veered far from the truth, far from your own essence. You were informed that the world is perilous, that you could be too fat, that size somehow defined worth, that certain places shouldn't have hair. You were told higher education was paramount, that the arts lacked legitimacy. These whispers and echoes ensnared your mind, etching their complex marks and leaving an indelible impression on your way of thinking. Your parents, standing as the steadfast guardians of your early world, painted your understanding with the brushstrokes of their own experiences. They were influenced by the whispers and expectations of society that murmured through the fabric of everyday life. With the gentleness of a summer breeze and the unwavering strength of a mountain, they sought to shield you from the shadows, nudging you tenderly onto the luminous path of truth. They enveloped you in a blanket of unconditional love, creating a cocoon of warmth and safety that allowed you to grow and explore the world with a sense of security. Through stories and gentle guidance, they gifted you the tapestry of beliefs that have been passed down through generations. This tapestry was woven with threads that contained the wisdom, fears, and dreams of those who came before you. Yet, within this intricate web, many of these beliefs floated like autumn leaves, detached from the branches of their true selves and the genuine reality beyond our sight. It feels, sometimes, that in this quaint dance of inheritance, a touch of madness whispers in our ear, challenging us to question and redefine the beliefs we've held on to for so long. These whispers remind us of the delicate balance between tradition and innovation, urging us to seek the truths that resonate with our own hearts and minds. There's an undeniable authenticity in this notion, a truth that resonates like the hum of a distant melody, silently yet profoundly. Most individuals drift through life in a dreamy haze, as if ensnared by the intricate tapestry of beliefs spun by others, until the dawn of realization gently breaks over them. This moment of awakening is akin to a sudden clarity that pierces through the fog, challenging the very core of our understanding. This intricate dance of awareness unfolds with two main players taking center stage: our consciousness and our subconscious. While the subconscious quietly steers many of our decisions unbeknownst to us, the consciousness takes on a more visible role. The former, like a spotlight, captures most of our attention as it tirelessly sorts through the ceaseless flow of information bombarding our senses daily. Within this conscious realm, we are active participants in a never-ending dialogue with ourselves and the world around us. We cast judgments like stones into a tranquil pond, watching the ripples extend far beyond the initial impact. Here, we wrestle with relentless thoughts that echo in our minds, each demanding attention and resolution. often leaving us berating ourselves for moments of perceived neglect or failure. It is within this cognitive space that we resolve, with fervent determination, to abandon crispy temptations like fried food, a resolution often riddled with struggle. Here we deduce simple truths like 2 plus 2 equaling 4, in the tranquility of thought, and grapple with the mundane mysteries such as misplaced car keys. This dynamic interplay occurs as the world outside spins on relentlessly, filled with its own myriad of distractions, each clamoring for our attention and challenging our resolve. Our consciousness is akin to a tireless craftsman, perpetually moving and shifting, as it darts tirelessly from one thought to another like a nimble acrobat on a tightrope. It is a ceaseless activity, a dance of ideas and musings that only pauses, temporarily, for a brief respite beneath the gentle veil of sleep. However, as the first light of day begins to filter through our eyelids, illuminating the world around us, this lively and intricate dance resumes its exuberant rhythm with renewed vigor. This continuous movement is vital for our mental and emotional balance, setting the stage for the day's experiences and challenges. Moreover, it is crucial to recognize that the symphony of consciousness reaches its full orchestration only upon the dawn of puberty. During this transformative phase, the frontal lobe, often referred to as the maestro of our mental concert, is completing its complex and intricate structure. Contrasting with this developmental phase of consciousness is the subconscious, an unwavering sentinel dedicated to emotion and instinct. Fully formed as we take our very first breaths, the subconscious is a realm that remains untouched by analytical scrutiny, a place where raw feelings reside. It is here that the tempest of unbridled tantrums can erupt with startling intensity, manifesting most vividly in unexpected places, such as in the bustling aisles of a busy supermarket. Moreover, the subconscious serves as a vast, shadowy vault where every scrap of information we encounter finds refuge, lurking in the nooks and crannies of our inner mind. This reservoir is immense and intricate, housing a labyrinth of memories, impressions, and bits of knowledge, both profound and trivial. It is within this deep chasm of our psyche that the influences of our everyday experiences nestle, often unbeknownst to us. With an innocence as pristine as freshly fallen snow, this part of our mind accepts everything that comes its way, devoid of any skeptical filters to separate truth from fabrication. It is open and limitless, absorbing a symphony of moments without question or hesitation. This makes it both a treasure chest of potential wisdom and a repository of misconceptions. When parents claim that financial success is unattainable within our family, we absorb this like sponges, taking it as gospel. These beliefs, unchallenged and unfiltered, shape the framework of our understanding of what is and isn't possible. If they illustrate a distorted tableau of family life, where love and harm entwine as a husband raises his hand against his wife, we sketch this grim portrait in the gallery of our minds. This becomes a norm against which we measure reality. Despite its dysfunction, we believe tales of a jovial, rotund man clad in crimson, magically squeezing down chimneys, or of a sleigh slicing through the frosty night sky, guided by reindeer, depositing treasures beneath the tree's twinkling boughs. These vivid, enchanting stories fill our minds with wonder, contributing to a mosaic of beliefs stitched together by imagination and trust. So, wrapped in the warm familiarity of their words, why would we not swallow all the other fairy tales spun by those we trust? In the embrace of our unconscious mind, these stories become indistinguishable from truth, guiding us as we navigate the world. The subconscious mind can be compared to a tender child, innocent and bewildered, eagerly absorbing the world without any sense of discernment. It collects most of its knowledge in this receptive state, while the frontal lobe of the brain patiently waits to mature. From the world around us, we gather information in myriad forms. Spoken words float through the air like whispers. The vibrant warmth of a smile can light up a room, and shadows cast by furrowed brows reveal deeper emotions. Every side yearning, every raised eyebrow signaling disbelief, every sorrowful tear forming rivulets down our cheeks, and every gorgeously infectious melody of laughter. All of these embrace the subconscious mind in a variety of ways. This complex gathering of experiences and emotions becomes delicately etched into our subconscious minds, like brushstrokes on a vast canvas. These impressions, each nuanced and intricately intertwined to compose the algorithm of our minds, creating a tapestry of immutable truths or deeply ingrained core beliefs. These concepts remain largely unchallenged and unexamined as they settle in, subsequently growing into the very roots of our psyches. Over time, these deep-seated beliefs guide the course of our lives, quietly steering us toward choices and behaviors. One day, as decades unfold, we might find ourselves on a reflective journey, seeking to untangle the mysteries of these subconscious influences. Whether sitting in the comforting embrace of a psychotherapist's leather couch, or wandering silently through the soothing halls of a rehabilitation center, we delve into this labyrinthine journey, seeking understanding and, ultimately, solace. Imagine yourself sitting alone in a dimly lit room, the shadows from flickering candlelight creating an eerie dance across the walls. The silence is thick, interrupted only by the sound of tears silently streaming down your face. It's in this moment of solitude that you find yourself whispering into the abyss of the empty night. What is my problem? This question, haunting and persistent, echoes within you, demanding an answer that seems elusive yet crucial. The stillness of the room feels overwhelmingly loud, amplifying your inner turmoil as you grapple with this perplexing query. The answer, more often than not, lies hidden beneath the surface, entwined within the tangled roots of a deeply embedded belief. This belief, pitiable in its constraining nature, has a pervasive influence over your thoughts and actions. It is an ultimately deceptive perception that has been buried deep within your subconscious for so long, clinging to you like a relentless shadow. Despite being unseen, it is ever present, subtly shaping your reality without your conscious awareness. This insidious belief acts as an invisible puppeteer, pulling at the strings of your life, dictating your experiences and silently guiding your path, all while you remain blind to its power. As you sit there, surrounded by shadows, you realize the need to unearth this belief, to confront it, and to understand the hold it has over you. Only then can you begin the journey towards reclaiming your reality and steering your life in a direction that is truly your own. In the intricate tapestry of our existence, let's delve deeper into crafting a clearer narrative that better elucidates the underlying forces shaping our lives. First, within the labyrinth of the subconscious lies the master blueprint of our existence, an often overlooked yet profound aspect of our being. This entity, a silent architect, meticulously sketches grand designs using the raw, unfiltered experiences gathered during our tender formative years. These experiences serve as the foundational building blocks, each memory and impression woven into the fabric of our subconscious, creating a complex, multifaceted blueprint. This invisible hand, consistently at work behind the scenes, directs a silent symphony beneath our awareness, subtly crafting the rhythm and harmony that dictates the nature of our days. This orchestration goes largely unnoticed, operating without our conscious recognition or interference. Yet it significantly influences our thoughts, emotions, and behavior. Meanwhile, much like the unnoticed shadow of a tree cast against the brilliance of sunlight, we remain predominantly oblivious to these deep-rooted subconscious beliefs. These beliefs act as quiet puppeteers, maneuvering our actions and choices often without our conscious consent or realization. As we mature, our conscious mind, eager to carve its own path, yearns to claim its dominion over the destiny it perceives as its own. However, it soon discovers itself bound to these invisible strings of the subconscious, responding to whispers it cannot hear nor understand. While our consciousness, with its bright-eyed certainty and assertiveness, believes it firmly holds the reins of our lives, the true navigator sits somewhere deeper within us. This navigator exists in the unfathomable depths of our subconscious, a mysterious realm that, although not overtly perceptive, wields substantial influence over everything we do. Thus, many of us find ourselves drifting, following the directives of our conscious mind, yet perpetually struggling to grasp the enigmatic force that pins the chapters of the life we yearn for but cannot yet tangibly hold. Imagine a childhood shadowed by the oppressive presence of a father whose days were burdened by relentless financial woes. Each of his movements seemed to echo across the household with the sharpness and intensity of his internal despair, creating a tense atmosphere that was hard to ignore. The frustrations he experienced frequently manifested physically, as he kicked furniture in fits of temper, lamenting the fact that money did not grow on tree branches as leaves did. The frustration of financial shortcomings seemed to follow him, casting a pall over his demeanor and interactions. His presence became more of a haunting memory rather than a tangible reality. His absence, a perpetual void that echoed within the empty rooms of your home. He often justified his absence with the usual refrain, an unending quest to earn a livelihood, a pursuit so relentless that it turned him into a ghostly figure, always retreating away into the night in search of financial security. These early experiences became ingrained in your subconscious, much like ink slowly seeping into a piece of delicate paper, forever staining it. This created a web of beliefs where money was essentially equated with insurmountable strife, an entity that was always taunting with its elusiveness, casting it as a sullen specter haunting and dictating much of life's narrative. Every crease in his brow and every strained sigh breathed life into the idea that money was the real villain of your childhood story, the invisible thief that stole away the precious moments and warm memories meant to be cherished. Its intangible grasp seemed endless, weaving a tapestry of sorrow and neglect that became synonymous with his absence. Thus, even the mere mention of money would trigger a cascade of thoughts and emotions, reminding you of the tender years overshadowed by its relentless grip. Years that were tinged with a sense of ceaseless suffering and a bid to escape its daunting specter. Adulthood, with all its responsibilities and expectations, has wrapped its weighty cloak around your shoulders, marking a significant transition in your life. As you navigate this new phase, you find your heart filled with an insatiable hunger to accumulate wealth. Much like autumn leaves collected beneath a golden tree, the drive to secure your financial future becomes a dominant force in your life, guiding your choices and shaping your dreams. Yet, beneath this determined pursuit lies a subconscious layer of complexity, where a shadowed distrust of money festers quietly. Whispers of this distrust echo in your mind, suggesting that wealth remains an elusive goal, forever just out of reach, no matter how tirelessly you pursue it. This underlying doubt brings with it a chilling fear, conjuring images of a future where the moment coins clink in your palm, love and companionship slip away like sand through your fingers. You dread the possibility of being abandoned by those you hold dear, left to face loneliness and isolation. In this tempest of conflicting desires, there's a real risk of lingering in poverty's tight embrace, despite your fervent efforts and hard work. Even if fortune smiles upon you, granting a windfall, those fears can drive you to squander it, desperately attempting to stave off the terrifying prospect of being alone. Though you may voice the fervent desires of your heart, it is the unyielding currents of these subconscious beliefs that have the power to steer your wishes away from ever becoming reality. Unless you confront and reconcile these inner conflicts, there stand two divergent paths, each distinct yet intertwined with unique sets of consequences that beckon you to choose one over the other. The first path invites you with a soft, cautious whisper of restraint, urging you to suppress the fervor of your desires and not to reach out for what your heart profoundly yearns for. It's a path lined with promises of tranquility at the cost of muted dreams, suggesting that true safety lies in the art of holding back and concealing one's true desires from the harsh scrutiny of the world. In contrast, the second path tantalizes with a siren call of promises and vivid dreams apparently fulfilled. Yet simultaneously it casts a shadow of caution, warning you of the insatiable hunger it might awaken within. A hunger that could potentially engulf and devour the very essence of your being. This path shimmers with the allure of aspiration yet warns with the looming shadow of personal disintegration. Venture too far, and your spirit might fracture, losing its grip on everything you once cherished as sacred and dear. Unbeknownst to us, in the innocuous and seemingly trivial act of savoring yet another sugary donut, or in the seemingly fated patterns of entwining our existence with a lover who mirrors the tumultuous and unresolved shadows of our past, we often remain oblivious to the puppeteer stealthily pulling our strings from deep within. This unnoticed entity within, left unrecognized and unattended, creates an unwelcome stage of conflict where it pits the raw, unchecked impulses of the heart against the composed, deliberate intentions of the conscious mind. This internal battle transforms into a chaotic battlefield where dreams, once steeped in hope and vibrant in clarity, collide and crumble against the stark truths we unconsciously design. It's akin to a dance filled with contradictions and futility, where one foot impulsively hammers the accelerator of desires while the other stubbornly clamps down on the brake of cautiousness, leaving you perpetually stuck in an unyielding, relentless tug-of-war with yourself, trapped in a cycle of internal dissonance. Imagine a yearning so profound that it tugs at the very strings of your heart, a longing to find and embrace a soulmate, entwining both souls in the ageless dance of matrimony. This desire for deep connection and shared life, however, is shadowed by an underlying murmur from the depths of the subconscious, which frets that intimacy may lead to pathways strewn with the thorns of pain and suffering. It's a silent, restless whisper that casts a pall over the hope of endless love. The bare ring finger, unobtrusively resting, silently recounts the poignant narrative of affection unclaimed and dreams left unfulfilled. Now, envision someone standing resolutely before their own reflection, a look of fierce determination etched into their features. They are set on a challenging yet rewarding quest to rid themselves of 12 relentless kilograms. All the while, beneath this conscious stratagem, an even deeper, quieter voice of fear speaks, painting the world as an inherently hostile place. This apprehensive whisper suggests that the safest course is to construct a protective fortress out of themselves, one comprised of thick, comforting layers, a reassuring bulwark of fat. In their reflection, they find a smile, an expression of allure and self. Acknowledge beauty that radiates an innate sexiness, whispering of desires for intimacy and closeness. Yet, the undercurrents of their subconscious are busy weaving intricate tales that dampen the vibrant spectrum of unrestricted pleasures, coating the bright potential of an otherwise lustrous sex life in muted tones. Meanwhile, visions of globe-trotting adventures beckon, dancing brightly before their eyes. These dreams fan the embers of desire, promising escapes to far off lands brimming with new possibilities and experiences. However, quieter internal messages insist that such exuberant pursuits are tinged with irresponsibility. It's a cautious tether, a belief that indulging in these adventures might divert them from their true path, possibly alienating the love they fervently seek by sending them adrift in the tides of whimsical, fanciful ambitions. Imagine a veranda, embraced by the cozy warmth of an afternoon sun, where gentle breezes cascade through the air, seemingly inviting a haven of relaxation and tranquility. Yet, instead of the expected serenity, an overpowering, noxious undercurrent of decay uncomfortably hangs in the atmosphere, rendering any attempt at enjoyment utterly futile. Faced with this strange and unsettling dissonance, the mind begins to race eagerly with inventive solutions. Perhaps, it muses, A strategically placed vial of incense might mask the unwanted odor, lending a fragrant balm to the senses. Alternatively, the refreshing sweep of a fleet of electric fans could work tirelessly to disperse the oppressive air. Or maybe even the diligent training of a keen-eyed canine might uncover the clandestine olfactory culprit lurking within. These solutions, though imaginative, stand as mere temporary distractions, gestures ultimately doomed to futility against a deeper, more unyielding malady afflicting the space, until the unsettling moment arises when something uncomfortably tangible, like the lifeless remnants of a shadowy creature, is acknowledged to be slumbering beneath the house. Similarly, this distressing scenario echoes the experience of grappling with the stench of limiting beliefs, those unseen quagmires of the mind that impose invisible boundaries on one's life. Until these limiting beliefs are diligently identified and unearthed, they insidiously contaminate life's atmosphere persistently and inevitably. No matter the fragrant distractions we employ to conceal them, it is through true transformation and courageous introspection that we begin to peer boldly into the shadowed corners of our existence. We must embark upon examining the foundational architecture of our minds, fully dedicated to unearthing those insidious convictions that have surreptitiously shaped a less glorious, constrained reality. Only through such brave, revelatory efforts can we cease adorning our superficial lives with mere blossoms and vibrant paint, hollow tokens of unresolved discontent, and instead set upon the truly transformative labor of excavating the fertile bed of our growth, reshaping it into a foundation from which boundless possibilities spring forth. Let's take a journey into the heart of this age-old conundrum we've all grappled with at some point: a chronic lack of money. Imagine standing on a plateau of seemingly unchanging earnings, as you gaze longingly at distant peaks filled with untapped potential and wealth. This mountain vista represents your dreams, depicted under a starlit sky that glistens with possibilities yet seems perpetually just out of reach. Wealth appears like a shimmering oasis on the horizon, a beacon of light and opportunity, though it flickers in and out like a mirage, taunting, evasive, and elusive. As you ponder these thoughts, consider taking a moment to jot down the first 5 words or images that instantly dance into your mind when you think about money. Ask yourself, does your mental list exude a bold fragrance of daring and optimism, or is it tinged with the heavy shadows of fear, anxiety, and a bit of resentment? This exercise isn't just a reflection of your thoughts. It is a window into the complexities of your relationship with finances. Now, draw on your earliest financial reflections, your family's whispered sentiments regarding wealth. Were these whispers once thick with the anxiety of scarcity, tapping into a fearful economics? Or were they murmurs filled with the ease and lightness of financial abundance? As a child, absorbing the world through ever-curious eyes, you would have seen the adults around you engage in the intricate dance of economics. Did they embrace a harmonious waltz with their money, fluid and composed? Or did chaos and struggle mar their steps with uncertainty? Whatever their interactions, these early observations were formative, potentially ingraining themselves into your own financial mindset. As you reflect on these elements, pause to consider whether the echoes of their beliefs and practices have seamlessly woven themselves into the fabric of your own financial perspectives. Be mindful of how these inherited beliefs may continue to shape your perceptions and approach to economic life today. If you have not yet embarked on the journey of exploring the intricate weave of your subconscious beliefs, start by gently pivoting to one side. Picture yourself standing at a threshold, thoughtfully observing the barren patches in the garden of your life. As you do this, work on strengthening the unyielding muscle of serene awareness. Take note of the subtle yet pervasive myths that are entwined around your ankles like stubborn roots, such as the belief that making money must be inextricably linked to drudgery and tasks you disdain, or the idea that intimacy is a treacherous entrapment ready to ensnare your spirit. These notions may have wrapped their tendrils tightly around your thinking, but it's important to recognize their influence. Perhaps you harbor the belief that maintaining a diet requires renouncing every delicious indulgence, or that surrendering to passion's allure will lead you to eternal fiery damnation. Begin to peel these outdated relics away, much like brushing aside the cobwebs that gather in the neglected corners of an old attic. With a simple, graceful flick of your wrist, watch as these obsolete shadows vanish, revealing a vast and fertile clearing. This newly unveiled space invites you to nurture vibrant new beliefs and enriching experiences, which can flourish beautifully under the warm and liberating light of newfound freedom and awareness. Embrace this opportunity to transform and cultivate a life that resonates with authenticity and fulfillment.